As a strong follower of God, I believe it is in His will for me to share the word of Him to everyone that I come in contact with. This is a very controversial topic, and it can be a very condemning one depending on who it's coming from. My goal for today is to convince at least one person to learn more about God after this, or maybe even follow Him. And for those of you in here, maybe just learn some more. Most people won't listen to a 17-year-old high schooler without a diploma on, a topic about the creation of everything. But I do have reliable sources that could change your mind otherwise. So today we are going to be putting God on trial. First, we're going to learn about the creation of everything. Second, we're going to learn about non-believers and turn to believers, and atheists turn to theist. And for those of you who don't know, theist means the believer, being a believer of God, and atheist is not believing in a higher being. And then third, we're going to learn about the logistical side of proving God's existence. First, we're going to start with the Big Bang Theory, which to scientists is how the Earth was created. They believe that about 13 billion years ago, space, time, and matter all came together to a single point, and this force created, everything. It just exploded, and then that created our whole entire universe. In a nanosecond, the Earth heated up and then cooled off, and then that's how the universe was formed. So the questions that I have to this is, what caused the Big Bang? And then finally, if the Big Bang created the universe, what created the Big Bang? Now, there are two types of theories to how the Earth was created from my standpoint. The first will be the young creation theory. This is, in most Bibles, the Earth literally took 7 days to be created. So like on the first day, light and darkness was created. Second, sky and sea. Third, land and vegetation. Fourth, the stars, sun, and moon were all created. Fifth, sea creatures and birds were created. Sixth, all other animals were created. And then on the seventh day, God rested. Now this source is coming from my brother, who is currently in college, and he's very active in a very large church. It has 20,000 plus members in it. He's very active in it, and he's very connected with the pastor. So this is where he got his information from. And then the second is the old creation theory. This theory more aligns with science. So I tend to follow more along the old creation theory, because I don't like to discard science as a whole. So I do believe evolution is true. The Earth was created in a span of 1 million years. But so basically what it's saying is, the 7 days is more of like an analogy. So like the first day could have been 1 million years it took to create everything. And this is coming from the word yom. The word yom in Hebrew means a long period of time. So in the Bible, if it says on the first yom, light and darkness was created, this could mean of 1 million years, light and darkness was eventually created through science. Now this aligns with theistic evolution. So it's saying God created the universe so everything would naturally evolve. So again, not throwing out evolution, but we don't believe that evolution as a whole is what created the universe. For my second point, I will be talking about the non-believers turn to believers. A Harvard neurosurgeon, Dr. Eben Alexander, had a near-death experience from meningitis infection in his brain. He claims to have died while he was in a coma, or he was on his deathbed, and he did visit heaven. Doctors gave him little chance to live, and if he did live, he would have major brain damage. Now, a lot of people question, was he maybe just hallucinating while he was in this? The part of his brain that would allow him to have hallucinations was unaffected by the infection. And here's the.
Did you go to heaven? Yes. And in every sense of the word, that's what my experience showed me.
His first recollection, he says, was being a speck of pure awareness in the dark and murky underworld.
And then I was rescued by this beautiful spinning white light that had a melody, indescribably beautiful melody with it. that opened up into a bright valley. Just an incredible, rich, ultra-real world of indescribable complexity.
God was there, he says, and he encountered him through an orb of brilliant light.
And further into this interview, he talked about he did have a guardian angel, and this guardian angel was his biological sister who died years ago. He'd never met her before. He was adopted, but she did die, and that's who he says after seeing pictures, that was who his guardian angel was. Now we'll be talking about the atheist to theist. World-renowned atheist Lee Strobel wrote a book out to find out evidence to disprove God's existence. But while trying to disprove God's existence, he did the information he found pointed to the existence of a higher being God, that God is real. He didn't write this through a courtroom point of view, so he put God on trial, and he weighed the side of God having being existed, or God exists now, and then him being a myth. He reached the verdict that God was in fact real. Strobel is now a pastor at a mega church with more than 30,000 members. Now we're going to move to the logistical side of God's existence. According to a sermon from Luke Barnett, who's a pastor of Dream City Church in Phoenix, Arizona, which is the church that my brother attends, without heaven or hell, there would be no rewards or punishments for people's actions on earth. So basically saying murderers, rapists, child molesters would have the same afterlife of nothingness as a do-gooder, such as a do-gooder who puts away people for child molesting, or people who help women out of sex trafficking. But even though, so what I'm trying to say is at the end, the only true way to get to heaven, you do want to be a good person, but the only true way is to have a personal relationship with God. The second logistical side is basically just our surroundings. So Earth, it's a perfect size with a perfect gravitational pull. If we were even the slightest bit off, we would fall out of the solar system. The human eye, able to distinguish 7 million colors, and the human brain processes 1 million messages per second. And water, no living thing can live without it. Yet it doesn't disturb whatever it's carried through, and it can be carried throughout the smallest vessels. Now for the overview, we talked about the creation of everything. We talked about the young Earth theory, old Earth theory, and the Big Bang theory. Non-believers turn to believers, like Dr. Eben Alexander III. Atheist to theist, Lee Strobel. And the logistical side of proving God's existence, the afterlife. After hearing this, I hope at least one of you will decide to follow God. Thank you.